Welcome to the Zero Lives podcast. This week is another special week. We are kind of getting into the video groove a little bit more, so you can see our faces on YouTube if you are listening on Spotify. If you are already on YouTube, hello. As you can see, we have a special guest. If you watched our previous video on our PSA graded Pokemon cards, that was a lot of fun. We just recorded that, and now we're going to talk more Pokemon stuff with our friend Ronnie. What's up, Ronnie?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Ronnie. Nice to meet you.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, we kind of introduced Ronnie a little bit more in the PSA grading video, but it is because of him that we graded our cards.
I'm a big Pokemon dork.
I'm a big Pokemon. So,
yeah, we've been in talks with Ronnie, too, about doing an episode, and it was like, Pokemon would be cool to have him on, so,
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad we could have you out here for this.
Glad to be here once again.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot of fun.
Cool. So this week we're going to talk about Scarlet and Violet. So Scarlet and Violet, if you've heard anything about them, you've probably heard that they don't play or play well. But at least the three of us, I don't know about you, Ronnie. Did you hold off on buying the game?
On release date, you're saying? No, I have pretty much blindly bought into Pokemon stuff, religiously since a kid, unfortunately.
I mean,
that's
same, so.
It's like Steve Jobs with iPhone. That's like me and Pokemon cards, Pokemon stuff, so.
Yeah. So this was the first game that I didn't get on launch day, but I got it the next day. So I was like...
You held it at bay for one day. That's
I did,
good.
yeah.
Pretty
Well,
good.
because I was like, okay, if they're gonna issue a patch, then I'll just wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
you heard immediately that, like, it was bugged.
bad.
Like,
Yes.
right out the gate, even,
Yes. And then they were like, oh, there's a day one patch. And I was like, oh, there you go. And then it was like, but all of the reviews played that patch.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not even like a patch. That's just what the game was kind of thing, even though it technically was a patch. So I was like, oh, man, like, that I wasn't even really excited for this game for some reason. I kind of forgot about it, because we had Diamond and Pearl remakes, and then Arceus, and then
came out same year as this.
Yeah.
Pretty shocking.
A lot of Pokemon games this year.
Yeah. So we probably mentioned during our Arceus episode that we're getting a little burnt on Pokemon games. Really wanted it to do something new, which Arceus did, which is cool. I like the direction they were going with that, and I was kind of really excited to see how they took that direction and put that into a mainline Pokemon game. So we were like, all right, well, Scarlet and Violet should be really good because they have...
Good elements we're adding, yeah.
Yes, they know where the series is going. And to an extent, they did that pretty well.
Yeah.
But the problem that, right off the bat is that it's so buggy and the frame rate is really the big issue, I think. It drops to 2 frames,
And also, if you've
Yeah.
clipping, like you get into a battle and it's all, like you're looking underneath the map, or like you go up to a building and if you turn the camera, like you warp into the buildings, like there were all these like little things that like take away from the immersion that you hope to come to expect from a game like this,
Yeah.
Especially with the, it's a long-standing developer. Like they should kind of have that stuff down pat.
Yeah, because we've never seen something like this from a Pokemon game before.
Not to this extent.
No. It's not. They're stable. If anything, they're stable. They don't make any huge jumps in gameplay or anything.
Consistent,
But they're consistent. You know what you're getting, and you know it's going to be a good time, that kind of thing. This was really strange, I think, to all of us, that, like you said, the clipping under the map, like the frame rate dropping so drastically and more...
things popping in and out.
Yeah, the shadows, oh my god.
The shadows like disappearing, reappearing. If you like some of the sections of the game are just super dark and then you turn a certain way and it's like, oh, all the light's there.
I saw that
Like,
number.
regardless if the game's good or not, like, they have so much money.
Yes.
And so many resources that, like, they should at least be able to make the game look good.
Yeah.
No, most certainly.
Come on.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago, we started talking about this, and we were going to have it as an intro to an episode.
Yeah.
I will probably insert that somewhere. It may have been the intro to this episode, actually. It's a little bit of a Pokemon rant. When the game's first released and, all this stuff was coming out, we were looking at Twitter videos on, the crazy, like, character models.
Meme-worthy,
the character's arms going like this.
Dude, the eyeballs. Where the eyeballs are just out here is so funny.
The thing is, though, that rant was like 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And it's pretty much the same rant now.
It is.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
No.
Yep.
So that's kind of what made me get the game when I realized that immediately all these people that usually critique the Pokemon franchise, or the game franchise at least, for saying they're not doing enough, they need to, sure, we got rid of HMs or something, but we've been asking to get rid of HMs for years.
Yeah.
They don't keep up to date, the games graphically, that they're 10 years behind. They always have been, but that's not even really that big of an issue. It's kind of more the quality of life things that when they do implement those changes, it's great. You implemented those changes, but you can't expect us to be oh, this is a great game because you implemented changes we asked for 10 years ago.
they're catching up to what we wanted a decade ago.
It seems like everyone is either really critical of Pokemon or they try to kind of stick up for it.
Yeah,
and be
right.
Well, I mean, they're making steps in the right direction, and I'm but they've made 45 steps. How many games have they come out with?
Exactly.
How are we not at the point where we have the open world Pokemon game that we've all been wanting since we were kids?
Exactly.
There's no reason they can't make that yet.
Yeah, it's pretty inexcusable. A lot of the things that you just come to expect when you buy a game. You want it to be polished and clean, and you jump in and it's just buggy. Left and right.
Yeah. What I saw a lot on release were fans saying, okay, the game, there's no excuse, right? However, it's more of a problem with the Pokemon company than it is Game Freak, who is the developer of the games. And it's because of the Pokemon company's timeline that they're
scheduling.
Yeah, it's crazy crunch with trying to get the games out on schedule. And, in the last year, we had 3 Pokemon games.
Oh, yeah.
But
I get that.
Wasn't Arceus a different team?
No, we said
and
it
also,
was.
even they got to have more than one team, don't they?
I did a lot of research on that. They have I watched a video. I don't exactly know the person, so I can't credit them off the top of my head, but they did a lot of digging on the developers, and it was really interesting to find that they have the right people in play. They have the people who worked on Persona, Breath of the Wild.
I was gonna say,
games I forget what that Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah,
they have the right teams in place. I think it's either a time crunch problem or staffing issue, management.
They have, I mean, the credits and stuff on this game, you see there's a ton of staff that's into it. So I feel like the crunch is probably the biggest aspect of it, especially seeing 3 games.
And all
those the scope of these games are just getting bigger and bigger in scope, and they still have to meet these almost obviously impossible timelines. You can tell that they just can't do it.
Yeah, and all those games Breath of the Wild, Xenoblade, Odyssey, those are all perfect examples that the hardware is not the issue.
The hardware is not the issue.
It can do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm confused on, because I did see that, and I'm not sure what position this person held or whatever, but there was a person who worked on the landscape of Breath of the Wild that worked on the landscape or the world in this. What happened to him? You know what I mean? Oh no, that is very strange. So the timeline, I do understand that would be difficult, I'm sure, right? But that doesn't change the fact that Game Freak is making one of the most profitable franchises of all time. If you can't handle it, get more people or hire more studios or expand the studio.
There has to be more than one team though, right? Because there's no way
they do a lot of outsourcing.
They finish. They finish Diamond and Pearl, and then they're all right,
let's
you
go.
guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Scarlet and Violet's coming out in 8 months. Get going.
Yeah.
Well, didn't I hear that Diamond and Pearl that had been in the making since
in the background in a while,
Sword and Shield, or before Sword and Shield?
I mean, probably.
I
know it's hard. I don't know how it all works.
Yeah,
but I mean, all that stuff, all the trash talk we just had with that.
Yeah.
Game's fun. And, three of us have been playing it a ton. What was that?
I sneezed. I'm sorry.
Yes. We've all been playing it nonstop past couple days.
Well,
not all.
Not all of us.
Well, 3 out of the 4.
Yes.
Sticking my guns.
Yes.
That's fine. I get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's valid.
Because
at this point,
I've honestly been like you said, I've been a little burnt out. Like I still love Pokemon, but like the last couple games, I've been like I never finished Diamond and Pearl.
You know,
never finished Arceus. I'm like, it's the same thing every time.
Yeah,
and I just buy them every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be like me. Don't be like me. All right?
Listen to this, man.
Yeah.
Chances are, eventually, I'll buy it. But like, at the same time, it's like if you're not gonna buy it like right off the bat, I mean, what's the point of waiting? It's not like it's
not going to go on sale.
Yeah, that will never happen.
I guess you can hope for a patch in the future, like if they actually do actually care about the status of this game long term. When you look at this game in 5-10 years, like where does it sit? If they leave it like this, it's just gonna be like. Just gonna be a bad mark in their, in their history.
But everyone's still gonna buy the next one, so
right.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't excuse.
I'm in pre-order that right now.
I'm getting right. Yeah. So like I said, I got this like the day after launch, and I got it because I realized that they're probably not gonna fix it. I mean, I was like, it's if they let it come out this way, and they issued a day one patch that didn't really help the main issues. I was like, I think I'm going to wait for a patch that's never going to come, and they're just going to go, sorry, this was a bummer. And
they actually came out on day one, or a patch that came out like 2-3 days ago now?
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the day one patch. I didn't expect.
The other patch came out.
I see. Then I think I'd probably download the game with that day one patch then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They absolutely should fix it, but like when you look at it from their point of view, like
why
put the resources into it when
you already made the money? You made the money.
Pretty much everyone that is going to buy it already bought it.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Like...
Dude, they're just crazy statistics. Like that game sold 10 million copies in 3 days. Ragnarok sold 5 million in 10 or some crazy thing. Like it's just like it's not even. Yeah. It's crazy how profitable it is. Like you said, blindly, like myself.
One game like Ragnarok, like literally like perfect.
Flawless, beautiful,
like no issues, and then Pokemon. People falling through the map,
the garbage disposal. Throw it out there.
Oh man.
Thing is, a lot of people buy both versions too.
Yeah,
it's true.
And that's another thing we talked about before. The both versions thing. Mm-hmm. There is no reason for that anymore. It's a line of code.
It's totally. Once again, it's just to run the money print. Yeah. That's the reason.
It is.
I mean, I think I read in an interview that's why they did Red and Blue. They were like, how can we maximize why don't we just make Virgin exclusive? Yeah. All the way back then they were like
and like when they did that at first, that's even if it was still for the money objective for it. It's like, okay, but now your audience knows now.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I didn't realize that. I was like, wow, they're two separate games or whatever. But like, dude, everybody knows because when Sword and Shield came out, or Diamond and Pearl, those were one of those games. They came out and the lines of code were switched. So the exclusive Pokemon were in the wrong versions, and they were like, oh, whoops, download this patch that switched the lines of code. And then it's like, okay, it's good now. It's like,
and for a while back in the day, they were even like, oh, here's a third version.
Legitimately,
yeah. Because that's kind of what I used to do is I would wait for the third version and then just play that. Like Diamond and Pearl, I only play Platinum.
Which is way better, just because they added more to it, and they usually would. But
there's basically like a post game with those, typically. But so I got this day 2, just kind of being like, all right, well, I'll see if I can play it, see how far I can get. And the first couple days, I played 15, 20 minutes, and then was like, all right, I'm just going to set this aside, do something different. But it's not too bad. And then I really sat down and started playing it, and I was like, damn. I hate that I really like this. It's inexcusable. However, the main problems that I encountered were clipping through the map. Mm-hmm. A couple times my Pokemon would sink into the ground during a fight.
I never had that happen.
Mine were raised usually. Mine were like flying.
That makes sense.
It's better typing.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And the frame rate issues. Like a couple people were literally stop motion kind of thing, like as they would like walk down the street or whatever. But
I have one more con I'd like to lay on. I didn't know how you guys felt about the actual world. Did it not feel like barren and empty?
It does.
That's how I felt about Arceus, man.
So they did a thing where
Arceus was better. Which is embarrassing to say.
They did towns in this, so like cities, whatever. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. And like you get to the cities and they're just like basic.
Bro, you can't go in the building.
It's like they look fleshed out, but then when you get in them, you're like...
You can't walk into strangers' houses anymore.
You can't even go in the stores.
Yeah, no, it's just
a menu that comes up.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
So
like that's something they've always had.
That's just like lazy. It's just like let's skip this step entirely.
Yes,
I feel like the idea behind it is to go to more of the MMO style. I feel that's what they're going for, like the actual open world, everything. You don't have to go through like doors to go to things. Yeah. But it just feels really weird without there being like a reason.
You know what else I thought was weird, just from seeing like gameplay, because obviously I didn't play it, but when there's like cutscenes. And they like animate the people talking, but they don't have voices.
The voice acting,
it's like why can't we just have voice? Like Nintendo is just like fuck voice acting.
Yeah, we don't want that.
But like, why even animate like their mouse moving if you're not gonna? It's just it's
that
weird. I don't know.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It is true that they just
that I didn't think of that. That is very strange.
Once again, super easy to implement.
Yeah.
Good for immersion. Good for just an overall enjoyment. Or you get more personal with the character if you hear a voice, right?
Right,
but definitely.
Or you don't animate them speaking.
Yeah, you don't need to waste time on that.
You know,
like why did you make your mouths move for nothing to no sound to come out?
It's a lot of games would keep you in the view that you're in, skip cutscenes altogether, and have a character's face, like a portrait of them, come up, and then the text.
Yeah.
It seems like that would be easier than what they're doing, and like it's always they're taking half steps.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna do like cutscenes and stuff like that, and like the characters are gonna be awesome, and the characters are awesome,
really good.
in these games.
Yeah.
But you don't voice act them, like.
Yeah,
go the full thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That extra step would be huge, I think, especially with like this one has like a pretty decent story, especially compared to like this franchise, because like they are not great stories ever. But this, I was like, this is like pretty neat. It's not like whoa, this is good, but like
I think Arceus had a really good story.
Yeah, I like that.
Where there was a reason that you were doing what you were doing. It was an interesting one because you're not from that time period.
Yeah,
and it's like a full new world, and like it's like you're going out on specific like missions to like to do things. This one, they kind of did this like there's a 3-route thing. There's 3 separate storylines. There's the gym challenges. There's the Operation Starfall or Starfall Street or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. It's basically the Team Rocket kind of thing. It's like defeating those guys. And then there are the Titan Pokemon, which are like super strong, really large versions of
Gigantamax.
Yeah, basically just that. Yeah. So, and they said like you can do anything in any order you want. It's an open world. And we were like, cool.
Kind of.
No, you can't, because you can technically do the gyms in whatever order you want,
but there is no scaling.
But there's no scaling.
Yeah.
So like if
that means like if you go, you could be like level 80 Pokemon and they'll have like level
like 25. Yes.
Yep. If you didn't do that gym,
Yes.
If you never took the gym
or
that week.
If you went the wrong way, which I assume I went the wrong way.
Probably, yeah.
I encountered a level 40s gym when I was like 30, and I was like, I can't do it, man. Like I literally can't do this. This is stupid. And because the game's been like fairly easy before this.
It's just like the illusion of choice.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, essentially.
Yep. And as far as I know, it doesn't matter the order that you do the Titan Pokemon. You just always get like
power-ups in the right order.
Yeah, they are predetermined. No, they're predetermined.
A certain one goes with a certain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I did find out that they were predetermined.
That makes me feel better, honestly, because I was like, then what's the point? You know, like okay. Yeah. So that's cool. Although it doesn't make sense because the Titan of Air or whatever, Bombardier.
Yeah, Bombardier.
Yeah, you get Surf.
You do.
Yep. Not Fly.
Why? Why would you get a flying thing? Flying
Come on, stupid. It's like a lot of it is just like what? Also, we should mention the eating animation or the lack thereof.
Funniest thing ever.
It is.
You want one of these?
It's just no. It doesn't even. It's just, like does your mouth move?
I think so.
Mine doesn't.
Once.
Does it? I don't even know. It just shows. Yeah, it shows. Oh, that might be it.
Like a picture of a sandwich going behind the character,
and then you come into the camera. Your head spins, and then there's like maybe one chomp. All your Pokemon appear behind you, and they all go ah, and like all happy. And your character usually does this weird shiver.
Yeah,
and
he's like, did I make a bad
dude, that's what I'm saying. And he's like, and then he's just like, yeah, and then he just goes, and then he goes back to normal, and it goes, yeah. I'm like, you, that is the most awkward animation.
Have you ever eaten a sandwich?
Yeah, that's what I think. These people are like aliens. They don't eat. And he's like, what is a normal reaction to a sandwich?
Chills,
sure. And then total complacency. Just kind of like, I don't know.
Okay. I'm satisfied with my meal.
So weird, man. That's one of those like inexcusable things. Yeah. Like if you're gonna do. Don't make the animation. Yeah. Like if it's gonna be that bad, just don't do it at all.
Yeah, no, I would have been fine with it not being there.
Yeah,
you could say I made a sandwich. It was good. Great. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
Give me the buff.
Yeah. I don't know.
We talked a little bit about like kind of the map. It's definitely like I was saying more like open in the aspect of every city you can just walk into without going through like doors. There's not necessarily doors. Even the caves. There's kind of like you just go through a tunnel. Yeah, which. It's nice that everything's open and you don't have to like have like stops in between going to areas. It's all there and like kind of reacting to you. But the fact that they made the cities dead is like, oh, that kind of kills it.
The cities look nice.
They look good.
They look nice.
They look pretty vibrant.
Now, I don't know.
It's not like the best city I've ever seen by any stretch. But
I used to love going into like talking to the NPCs, like getting a little bit of like what's going on in this town or something, or like
what are the people like?
And sometimes they give you items or different stuff like that. And there's like none of that. You could see
you
if
can't
there's
even talk to the NPCs.
Yeah, if there's
they just have a word bubble above their head.
And it's so much more complex back in the day.
Yeah,
I remember needing like a guide to get through caves.
Mm-hmm.
I would get lost when I was a kid.
It's kind of nice to see like if there's something that a character can get from you or you can battle them. It's like yellow. It's like, hey, by the way, you can't talk to this person. So like that's neat. But I'm like, but I'd like to like talk to the other people still.
Right. So before I played Temtem, which is that Pokemon-esque type of game, and it goes very, very hand in hand with these games.
Yeah.
Like it seems like in Scarlet and Violet they tried to do the things that Temtem set out to achieve.
I never played that game.
It was like really good, I gotta say, because it had to be.
Pretty early on.
That's all right. The beginning was a little tough for me to get through, but like as it went, it got more interesting because like the enemy team or whatever, like they would affect the world that you are in. They would close down towns. You would have to find a different way to a different town. You would be flying in like an airship to another continent because there's like 6 continents in the game, and like they at one point it's scripted obviously, but they like attack you and you like fall to a different continent and you're just there and you're like helpless. Yeah, and it's like it's a continent of like bandits. Like where like nobody helps you and you have to like go through these towns and like interact with these people, make friends. It's like it was an actual thing where the towns had things going on in them. The NPCs mattered. They had character to them. And it wasn't just like the main cast of like these 3 or 4 characters. It was like every town had like interesting people in them. And then for Scarlet and Violet to come out and have these huge cities that look wonderful, but you can't even go inside a building. You can't talk to people. I don't know
the names of any of the towns here. I don't know like what things are what. I'm like struggling with associating certain things with towns, which I feel like in the past I'm like, oh, if you like said like certain cities and other gens, like I kind of know or like had
each city had something about it. Yeah, like Celadon City had the game corner and like the department store or whatever. Saffron had like
the tower, the tower, like actual city look to it.
Exactly. Lavender Pokemon Tower, the graveyard thing. Yeah. They all had something about them. Yeah, these like if you said the only one that comes to mind is Montenerva, I think.
Yeah.
That is. Do you know anything about that city?
No. I don't know which one that is.
Exactly.
Spooky Ghost.
Is that the?
That's the ghost one. Yeah. It's like in the snow. It's the ghost one.
I can tell you the gym leader, but I couldn't tell you like an identifying factor about the town.
MC Rhyme.
Was
MC Rhyme? Was that what it was?
Yeah. That. I don't know about that. that was a weird.
Yeah. That was, I don't know. I missed the ball now.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are certainly issues with these games.
What about positives?
Yeah.
Let's have some of those.
All right. What about the Pokemon?
The Pokemon,
which I think we can talk about. That's like I feel neutral about it, but the Pokemon. Yeah, I mean, the Pokemon are positive. For the most part, or you think they're negative?
I don't know. I haven't seen most.
You
of
haven't
them.
seen most of them, yeah.
I mean, I've seen some. There's a Dachshund Pokemon. I love that.
Dude,
Dachshund.
Yeah, Dachshund is sick. That's like
we were using him.
Dachshund's like one of my new favorites. I don't know. They had like some cool ones for me. It was kind of
our favorite three.
What was the one?
We should name our three favorites.
The 1000th Pokemon.
Okay. Oh my God, Goldengo?
Yeah.
Is it?
Goldengo.
He's Goldengo?
He's interesting.
He's kind of funny.
He's
interesting. Yeah, interesting's a word.
Cinnamon.
Yeah, he's Cinnamon from the Applejack commercials.
Or the cheese stick guy.
Or the cheese string cheese.
guy?
Yeah. Oh man, it's so funny. Like, just the decisions that these games make. You're like,
Okay.
like that. I didn't.
But then,
all right.
Like Toad's cool.
Yes.
Old school Toad's rule, dude.
Yeah, man. Like his little feet.
Yeah,
I love it.
So
I've seen
awesome.
him.
It's really cute. A lot of the Pokemon, the new ones, are like pretty good.
Yeah.
They're pretty. There aren't any real like hard hitters that I know that are like, oh, this is like my new favorite. Darkspawn's really great.
I like Satitan a lot too, but it's because it looks like Kyogre, Welmer style.
Welmer style, Kyogre style.
Yeah, Ronnie had a good idea. Do you have a top 3 favorite of this new gen?
I'd say Darkspawn, Satitan probably, and Flamingo.
Awesome. Flamingo? Yeah, cool.
It's straight up a Flamingo. It's great.
It's just a Flamingo.
It's great.
Yeah, it literally is. It's literally just a Flamingo.
Awesome.
I really like Tinkaton. I thought
The one
that.
with the giant hammer?
Yeah,
it's like Reinhardt.
It's
Yes,
awesome.
yeah. And like the Pokedex entry is like Tinkaton for fun, just like hits rocks into the sky with its hammer to take out Corviknights, and it just kills Corviknights for fun. Like it's so funny.
Doesn't the shiny have like a hammer made from a
from a shiny Corviknight?
So cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
It does.
That's sick. I really like Tinkaton. I liked Annihilate a lot.
Yeah, dude, that goes hard.
Yeah, new Primeape evolution.
The Pokedex entry is really cool
I
too.
did see that.
I don't think I saw it.
It gets so angry, like Primeape will get
dies.
so angry that it'll die, and Annihilate's like the ghost of the.
And it's still raging.
Oh my God. That's
so
awesome. And I don't know.
Oinkaloni, come on!
Oh my God.
Oinkaloni.
Oinkaloni?
I thought you said Oni Baloney.
It's
Not far off. Not far off.
It's just a pig.
Okay.
It's just a pig.
It's it's a pig. I don't know.
I got a shiny one, so it's cool.
Yeah.
What about that dolphin?
Dude,
Like
yo,
I don't want to talk
superhero
about it.
pose.
Finizen?
Finizen and then Paladin or Palafin, I think.
I think it's Palafin.
Yeah. That's an interesting
You seen
one.
his like pose though?
Yeah. So
The way to make him switch form seems really annoying though.
it's stupid. You have to take him out of the fight.
Yeah.
And then he gets courage and then he
put him
goes back in. It's so stupid. It's just time waster.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I like the Paradox Pokemon. That's a cool thing.
Yeah.
Like the future ones, the past ones. I really like
Iron Treads.
Iron Treads is cool. It's like the Donphan one. Delibird.
Yeah.
That one is like ridiculous stat wise. It's like
crazy.
wicked good.
Is it
Yeah.
new Delibird?
Yeah.
Busted.
It's a metal.
Yeah.
It's just metal.
So you
know. Did you finish your third?
I don't know.
He loves Oinkaloni. Confirmed.
Yeah. That's it.
God, no. Well, I think it's strange that they went so hard with ghost Pokemon this time.
It's cool.
Because they also went kind of hard with like normal types.
Yeah, there's a lot
You
of
know?
ghosts normal. Pretty
Yeah.
much every Pokemon like had one. I feel like a lot of them had one or the other.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of the team that I used.
Want to do mine while you think?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, I just like quote unquote cool looking Pokemon. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So I gotta go probably Ceruledge. I think it's really cool mon. Kind of Digimonish, but
Yeah.
they don't have many Digimonish. I mean, they kind of do, but they kind of don't. So I liked it.
That's cool.
I liked Skull Villain.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna hit. I really like Capsicum more. And then I heard it evolved into like a bell pepper Pokemon or just a pepper Pokemon, and I was like, with 2 heads, I'm like, this is gonna be the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it kind of is, but it's kind of also sick.
It's like so bad that it's like that's actually kind of cool though.
It's this weird amalgamation thing that I don't know. I kind of like it. And then the third, probably Clodsire.
I love
Clodsire.
Clodsire.
Is really, really good. And I'll throw honorable mention to T-Tar, Tyranitar, and Dunsparce, as those are in my favorite Pokemon of all time. Tyranitar and Dunsparce are in my top 6.
Is up in your top?
It is in my top 6, and it's not even a question.
I got it. King Gambit.
Kingambit is really good.
That is like one of the coolest Pokemon. Dude, when he came out in battle the first time and he's just sitting there like a warlord, I was like, that is sick. And then his ability, he gets a power up for every fainted Pokemon on your team. Which is really cool. So I love it. And
Graveyard?
Houndstone. That's a cool one too. Yeah. That does a similar thing.
Yeah, where the move it has Last Resort or something something like that.
I remember
Last Respect or something.
Yeah, Final Respect, whatever it is. But every Pokemon in your party that gets knocked out, it adds 50 to the damage stat. It goes up to like
stupid.
It's so strong. They banned him from competitive like 2 days in because it was so good. You put him at the end and just like I think in a sandstorm he goes twice as fast or something. So it's like we just first and you could make it to like 600 damage like first every time. That's dumb. Broken. So they banned him.
50? What about like 20? Like 50 is 5 crazy.
Yeah, right.
No.
Wow, I didn't know about that one.
Well, he's sick.
Yeah, so they got some pretty cool designs in this one. Story-wise, what do you guys think of the story?
It was neat. It wasn't.
Story-wise, I feel, pretty neat is probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's good.
Yeah.
No, especially, we just talked about God of War Ragnarok a week or two ago. Like, this game's shit compared to, like, there's no story compared to that.
The only good story is the giant Pokemon one.
Dude, that was that
one.
Pretty
that one was good. That one was the only one that's memorable enough.
Did not care about the Starfall thing.
No. I skipped a lot of dialogue during that.
I just didn't care at all.
Yeah.
And I liked the kind of thing they were going for, like, oh, we were bullied and then we were cast out and like we tried to stand up for ourselves and we got expelled. Like we were the bad guys for it, stuff like that. I'm like, that's a good message. I like what they're saying.
Definitely.
But like I just didn't care.
I think the best part was the character design.
Yeah, the character design was really good, and I think that, like we were saying before, like voice acting would bring characters to life so much more. And I think that would just help the story innately. It might even be like, wow, that was like pretty decent, but like, it's just not. It's not there without it.
Right. Yeah.
For me at least.
No, I agree. And then the gym leader challenge was the gym leader challenge.
Dude, what in the world? Some of them are
the one. So you had to pass a gym test. Or something beforehand.
They did in Sword and Shield, I think, well. All of them were like usually pretty much related to what's going on, and then you'd battle trainers as well as like while doing it. But this one, some of them were like, I forgot my wallet. Can you go get that for me?
Yeah,
literally.
Dude, it felt so forced. Like before, in the original games, you would have, it was essentially a puzzle to get to the gym leader. And if you did the puzzle sometimes like better, you didn't have to fight the trainers.
Yes.
Or, sometimes you just had to like, I'm thinking like Brock's gym, you would just go, but like this one, there's literally a gym where the girl's like a live streamer, which isn't that basically what Marnie was? Like, why did they just do that again?
Similar.
Yeah,
like
she was
I don't know,
kind of a pop culture figure, I guess, and that people liked her.
Yeah, they did that, and she literally made you play like hide and seek, like an I Spy.
The last one was actually hard though.
The
last part of that challenge, I struggled.
Are you serious?
Did you really?
Dude, he's like a little teeny tiny thing on a boat.
He's the old man.
Yeah, but I couldn't see him because maybe I'm blind. They were like,
Ronnie's looking up, guys. Where did he go? I can't
literally. They kept zooming in on the character, and I'm like, that's not him. So I kept clicking on it. I'm like, maybe it's like he's got a wig on. Yeah. And they kept zooming in. All of a sudden, it's like they zoom in on this little boat in the corner, and they're just sitting in there. And I'm like,
and he's like,
I'm so dumb, dude. I'm so dumb.
I'm gonna be honest. All those took me 5 seconds.
Yeah, it was like real fast.
Oh, they really, except the last one, the one where he was on the boat. I struggled.
Oh, that's really funny.
I
love it.
That's so funny.
But then it was like, find this guy, and then it's like, okay, good, you found him. Fight this trainer.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't.
Yeah.
There's
you didn't get rewarded.
No, it's like it doesn't even make sense.
And there was a gym that I did where I purposely did things wrong because I wanted to fight.
Yeah.
And they were like, try again.
What about
then I did it right, and there was no like gym battles that I'm like, okay.
The emotional spirit, whatever.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah. Every time I did it, where I hit the button, the first time I did it, it said great, and then every other time it just said okay, and I'm like, am I supposed to do this at a certain time or like a certain way?
Mine always said okay.
It said okay every time. Yeah. I was just like, can I do this better? It's like okay. I felt like I was doing something wrong.
Yeah, and that went too long.
Yeah.
That was long, dude.
It's 3 minutes of pressing A, B, X, or Y, and she's like, press this.
It's like a Simon Says thing.
It's a Simon Says thing.
Yeah.
For 3 minutes.
Nice.
And I get the game is kind of designed not for our age demographic necessarily, but
come on.
Like also,
does anybody like that?
I do. A 12-year-old like that, which is maybe like an 8-year-old or a 6-year-old, but like,
I don't think so.
Maybe probably not. Yeah, not in this day and age, right?
Yeah. The other content in the game does not match with that.
Yeah, no.
That's the thing. It's not like it's all like that.
No.
It's just I don't know. And I really is the actual demographic like 10-year-olds anymore?
I think they're still
because I know they do, but like who's the major demographic?
I think it's us.
Is it us?
I think so.
I'd like to say it's us.
I don't know about that
because
I see I like to just keep a pulse on it just because it's something I care about. I see a lot of kids still playing those games. I mean, you see it, but I would be curious to find out
if you divided it up in age
took
groups.
A bell curve, like where are we on the bell curve?
I think it's like a wide net where it's like we're gonna do it kind of so we can get more kids to get into this now,
at the end of the
but
day,
also like still keep us
involved.
Hooked. Yeah,
that's
what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Nimona, a lot of people are like can't stand Nimona.
I thought she was cool.
I love her.
Better
I
than
love.
Way better than Hop. It's weird that it's the exact same thing that Hop was, but she was like good, so it was like okay, that's cool. Like
it was kind of cool that she was. I guess it doesn't really spoil anything that she had already won the championship.
Yeah,
she was already a champion.
I love that.
Her.
And I love that they said she's a champion.
Yeah.
Not the champion. Because I always thought, like, when you beat the game, shouldn't I be the one at the Elite Four waiting at the end? Why am I just allowed to go wherever? Yeah. But no, the way they do it is, like, if you beat the Elite Four, you become a champion. And you reach the... Yeah,
Anthony, literally. Get to the gym right now. We gotta go. There's a challenge. Come on.
Yeah, it almost reminds me of like the hunter exam kind of thing. Like when you pass it, you are now a hunter, and like you have this like a mark, like regality about you. Like, oh, that's him. Like, hello, champion. Like, that kind of thing. I thought that was really cool. Hop. I've never hated a character in Pokemon more than Hop.
Something about him.
It's
very punchable.
It's exactly that. Every time he came up to me, he was like, I'm going to beat you this time. And he never once won, right? He won, and he pulls out this fucking Wooloo every fucking time. And I'm like, listen, I know it's your best buddy. You got to get him on it. Like, you can hang out with him, that's fine.
You can't be...
Trade a dragon in.
It's almost just abuse throwing him.
It is, dude, seriously. The thing that got me the worst, though, is that right before you go into the Elite Four in that game, Hop's like, this is the time I'm going to win. And you beat him. And he's like, oh, like that was my chance or whatever. And he leaves. You beat the Elite Four. You become the strongest trainer in the region.
Yeah.
And immediately he's like, I got it this time. I'm like, you sucked before. Like now.
After I won the whole thing.
Oh my God. And dude, it's just so, it was his arrogance about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Where Nimona, it just loves to battle.
Yeah, she's having fun.
And she's like like too much about it. You know what and like the other characters, like in the end game, I don't know if you've gotten quite there yet.
I didn't They
like can't stand her.
That's really
They're
funny.
like, can you stop ever?
Yeah.
And
towards the end, they're kind of like, chill.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And like there's a dangerous situation everybody's put in. They're like, where's Nimona? And then she like comes out of nowhere. She's like, you see all those crazy Pokemon over there? They're like, are you okay? She's like, let's go. And she's like, going. It's so funny. And I think they did that character really well.
Yeah.
What do you think about Area Zero? I don't know if this is like a spoiler-free, like, but...
Go for it.
I thought
if you haven't beat it.
Like positive reception, poor reception of that area? You haven't got there yet?
I'm like, right before that.
Okay, well then I guess it's
that's okay. You guys can talk about it. He's close.
Yeah.
Are you Violet or Scarlet, by the way?
I'm Violet.
Scarlet. Okay.
And I want to know what Area Zero looks like in Scarlet, because I feel like it has to be different.
Probably not.
I doubt it.
That's what I'm thinking too. It doesn't, because one's future, one's past, and like it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the way it's set up, but I could see it going either way, and So
I thought it was pretty.
It's cool.
It was like I like the fact that there were like layers once again to it. Like you'll have to see when you play do it.
Yeah.
I think that it's like the only area that has like depth.
Yeah.
In the game?
Yeah, there's literally, like, when you first go through, you can't ride Koraidon or Miraidon.
Yeah, the very first time, right?
But then when you go in after that, you could literally jump all the way down to the very bottom Pretty much. That's like, cool. There are a couple little tunnels that you have to go through or whatever.
And it's like the only area that I felt like it was kind of confusing to navigate a little bit. Yeah. Like, if you're like running around, I'm like, where am I now? Yeah. Like, I don't know where I am.
They have a couple cave systems in the game that are just narrow, straight path. That's like, okay, well, I know where to go because this is the way I came in, that's the way I go. Everything felt like that with this.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
I liked it, but the problem still remains that the whole game felt really empty.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially with the pop-in kind of thing. I'd just be going, there's nothing in sight, then all of a sudden there's like 5 Pokemon in a little group, and then, the items were spread out nicely. That was cool.
That gave you a good reason to explore.
Yes. I felt like there were more items than there were landmarks.
Definitely.
For sure. I could be... If I looked at, so for example, if in pretty much any other Pokemon game, if you walked in the room and somebody was playing it, you could see where they are and go, oh, I think you're in this general area.
Yeah.
This game, no. Yeah. If it's snowing, I know you're in this section of the map, but otherwise, or if you're in a desert, I know you're in the desert, but otherwise it could be literally anywhere, pretty much, so I wish they... I don't know, and it's tough with an open world. I get it, to populate it. I'm sure that takes a toll on the performance as well. The more you put in there,
especially having that stuff, and then also having the Pokemon do their own behaviors and spawning different ones and rolling and stuff. So I kind of get it.
Mm-hmm. I could see where it would be an issue for sure, but then we go back to this is a multi-billion-dollar company that can do this. We know they can do this. Like we have seen it in other open world games that like Spider-Man, dude. Like I realize that Spider-Man would not run on a Switch. I realize that, but the technology is there, so I don't know. There's just a lot that I think could have been better.
Exploration wise, I didn't even without getting the last exploration thing, you can get to everywhere on the map, which is really cool. And this one is different from Legends Arceus. You can fall any height on the map and it doesn't hurt you is so good. Because Arceus, if you fell off a mountain, it's like, oh, you're done.
Yeah, that would kind of stink.
There's no falling damage with the high mountains and just gliding off of stuff.
We're not talking Elden Ring, difficulty.
Right. But that's cool because otherwise I would have played this a lot safer. I'm like, oh, I'm going to try to I wouldn't be able to get some of the areas that I got to.
Yeah.
So that was cool for exploration. I could just let me see if I can jump up here. Yep, okay.
Yeah.
I really like the Pokedex. The Pokedex was the way that they did the entries in the game was one of my favorite parts of the whole game. That was the only part that I was like, oh wow.
This is cool.
This is immersion. This is what the Pokemon do in their environment. Everyone had, for the most part, were pretty unique. I mean, you could say some of them were a little lazy, but there were a couple. I was literally seeing some today where it was literally Drifloon was literally hanging out with a kid.
Yeah,
there was
really
Persian.
Cool.
Awesome.
There was a Persian hunting a Starly. There was a Starly hunting a Spupa. There were these little things in the Pokedex. It's
those little
that's
details
cool.
are sick.
Yeah, those little details. So I thought the Pokedex was a highlight in my opinion.
What about when you go into the Pokedex and then you have to go into one of the things and then press the X button to get your item rewards?
Oh, you're talking about the mechanic they don't tell you about?
How about one of the other 20 mechanics they don't tell you about in the 2-hour tutorial in the beginning?
World.
Dude, it's again, we know how to catch a Pokemon. Yep. Man, I get that. What I would rather is oh, you've caught a Pokemon before, haven't you? And then you have the choice to say, yes, I have. You don't need to do this. Or I haven't, or something, or default it to you haven't done this, right? I should show you, or something like that. But have the
exclamation
option.
Point on something that you haven't, or more obvious something, or whatever.
Right. But they didn't tell you that when you open up your map, that you can make basically a hard north kind of thing.
Makes sense.
That was driving me nuts.
I didn't know that you could do that. So the whole game, pretty much, I played in. It just rotates around you, and every time I went to find a place, I would get lost and open up my map. I was going this way, but my map moved, so I'm going the wrong way.
I found out from Twitter, not even from the game.
Anthony told me that's you could just press the R stick in, and it just locks your map. And I'm like, I wish I knew this before I did.
Why is that not just default?
Yeah,
exactly. Who looks around the map
while it's rotating with you? Yeah, and the Pokedex thing, if you go into the Pokedex, go into a Pokemon entry, and then press the X button, it gets you items, which are Firestones, Thunderstones, leveling up Pokeballs you get from there. They're good stuff that I would want to have early on.
Especially
every 10 you catch, you get stuff. But it's I found it and I was oh, you caught 80 Pokemon. Here's 8 rewards. I'm like, oh, these would have been cool to have.
Well, that's what Dewey told me about it, and I was like, all right, I'll do that. I sat there for, it had to be 5 full minutes where it's going through the thing. I was like up to like 230 or something like that, and I was like, come on, man.
Actually, my girlfriend might have told me about that. She's going to be like, it wasn't Twitter, it was me.
Yeah. I mean, there's like that stuff. There's a lot that they just didn't say, which is strange because it seems like they should have said that stuff.
Yeah.
But
how'd you guys like auto battling stuff?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one to bring up. Fun but not entirely practical.
Yeah.
It's neat, like if you're doing other stuff or kind of exploring. Like I would explore and throw my Pokemon out to like go fight stuff. And it gives you, what is it?
Like an eighth of the experience that you would get from a regular Pokemon, something like that.
It's cool. It goes fast. Usually they just attack once and it'll kill them, or like they'll get sent back to you and like kind of get damaged depending on typing and stuff. It's like that's neat.
I wish if you threw out the Pokeball or the Pokemon like and not for battling, just to follow, that it would do a better job of keeping up with you.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I get that we're running, but like the only Pokemon that can keep up is Toedscool. Like there's no other Pokemon that can like run as fast as you.
And especially it should do that, having certain Pokemon that evolve while following you a certain amount of steps. They should be able to keep up with you, and it's not like I have to go slowly.
Yeah.
So
Emblem's brutal.
Especially I didn't love that, but like the actual feature is like kind of nice to do if you're doing other stuff. It's like I don't want to go into every battle.
It's got potential, but like
mostly because you can't turn off battle animations.
I hate that,
and I don't know why they did not let you do that. Which
There's
is
still
like
no difficulty setting on these games either.
Yeah. It's weird to do that, but then I was like, okay, well they have auto battling, so is it their way of like making the game longer by making you watch the animations?
Yeah, I'd like turning battle animations off just because it saves time and fight.
Yeah. I watch them like for the first hour or two, then once I see the moves, or if I get a new move, I'll turn it back on. But after that, I'm like, okay, I know what it is. I don't need to watch this every time.
Yeah,
agreed.
And it's not like these animations are good.
Yeah, no,
like
they're not.
I feel like they took a downgrade.
Arceus is a step up.
Yeah. So, and also with the walking thing, you need a step counter.
That would be nice.
If you have Pokemon evolve by following you for 1,000 steps,
show me where.
How do I know what a tumbleweed step is? I can't count those.
I sat myself in a circle and I ran around for 10 minutes with Palmo or what is the second stage?
Palmy.
Yeah,
Palmo. You're right, Palmo.
So I just ran around in a circle, held both my sticks. So we're just running around in a circle for like probably 7 minutes, and I was like, "That's good." Try leveling up, and it didn't evolve, and I was like, "I'm not doing this." Like I was like, it deterred me.
It's just
it's a little funky.
It doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't. That feature is fine if you gave people the means of tracking that.
They follow you, or if they had a step counter, one of those.
Right. Because in this case, Bramblin, is it? Yeah. It evolves by following you for 1,000 steps without returning to the Pokeball. But if you go too fast, it will immediately get recalled to the Pokeball if you outrun it.
Yep.
So you have to go. You can't go too slow.
Yeah, no.
Because then it gets bored, kind of thing. But then you have to go half.
Run it, let go. Run it, let go. Run it.
Yes, it's such a bad, but
I don't know what that was.
Once again, cool idea. Just
Pokemon
do better.
Roll faster.
It's a step in the right direction. You know what I mean? It's. How
many times do you hear that? Right?
Yeah. So the thing that gets me about these games is that I did have a lot of fun playing them.
Yeah, I know.
That's the thing.
I'm being critical, but the games are fun.
Yes.
It's like the best worst game.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it's certainly not the best Pokemon game I've played. It's it's very fun. It technically the bugs, the weirdness, the lag type things.
It's kind of shit.
It's
in that aspect.
Yeah, really not good. Even if it came out with no performance issues at all, like a normal Pokemon game, I'd still be like, this was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot, but I think that Sword and Shield were probably better.
Yeah.
But I liked some of the things that it took a step towards,
things that they did.
Because essentially the big thing about this game is that the entire thing is open world.
Yeah.
So the entire thing is essentially the wild area.
Yeah. Well, they did make an open world Pokemon game, which was once again part of the fun.
Yeah.
It's just it wasn't very fleshed out.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I don't know. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I like the style. I would love to see them take the right amount of time, maybe even a little longer, to make one of these games good. Make this style, but do it right.
Yeah.
Take a year off.
Take 5. I don't care, man.
I just want a good.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they actually spent the right amount of time making these games and actually created like a truly great game.
Be the best game ever.
People would love it.
Yeah.
And just be like over the moon.
Like every single person.
Like they used to be, when these games came out.
I've been saying this for years, and people always go, "You're stupid, shut up." And I get that, but I'm saying if they took 5 years off and they came out with a open world Pokemon game where you started in Kanto and you went until however long or whatever.
So good.
If they said, this is what we're making, it will cost you $500. I'd be like, all the absolutely. Yeah. Like, absolutely. It was just
an absolutely beautiful game with everything fully fleshed out.
Yeah.
They actually took their time.
What they actually could do is start you in one region and then have you pay, who cares, $60. I would even say $60 for each subsequent region as like DLC or something. I know that's a crazy price point. Yeah. They should not do that. I'm not saying they should do that.
You would buy it.
I would buy it.
But blindly, would I buy it?
And would they do it? Yes, they would do it. Because they make 2 identical games every year, and then,
How do you feel about the dark area in the top of the map? What are you thinking that's going to be? Think it's going to be DLC?
Like top right.
That's going to be...
Oh, the top right?
Because, there's obviously, if you're thinking about it, geographic,
it does connect with Spain with
would
what?
Be Kalos, region.
Right? Kalos is Spain? No, Kalos is what, Germany? Or
France.
France. Yeah, France, right, Spain, France.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
I don't know.
I just feel like it's going to be DLC, and they're like, no, it's not. Don't worry about it. Like, it's DLC, whatever. Because they're going to add DLC in a year. They've already said that they're going to do that, whatever time frame. They're going to have. They've already said.
Didn't we mention last night if the DLC was like partly like connected to the Kalos region?
That would be sick.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
Even just like a little of it, like do something.
Yeah.
Like an extension of the Kalos region and like be like, oh, this is like the line between Palkia and Kalos,
Right. And that would be cool in kind of foreshadowing something going back to X and Y.
Yeah.
Because like we just got Diamond and Pearl, then Black and White, right?
Right.
And then X and Y.
Right.
So, we already kind of know Black and White are next. Yep. And then that would be kind of a cool little nod to be like, get this region back in your mind. It's not coming for a while, but it is here. And I would love to see them bring back Mega Evolutions. That was my favorite one. It just seems like they're...
Mega Evolutions?
Yeah.
They didn't.
Nintendo? I don't know.
On a quick side rant, I'm curious if they'll do, like, if they're going to keep the formula they kept with Black and White, which was one of the best games in the Pokemon franchise, in my opinion. Black and White. Just like the story was really, really good.
Yeah.
And it was... You didn't like it?
I played it in Japanese, so I have no idea.
Oh, the Black and White story.
I didn't beat it. Couldn't beat it.
It's the most serious adult story in all of Pokemon is Black and White. Like, there's war, there's there's all sorts of stuff. Black and White 2, which I never played, I heard it's like the absolute best version or extension. They actually added a ton of new stuff. Like, it seemed like they actually cared about that game. So I'm curious about if with this next, round around, what it'll be like.
Yeah. Do you want to get some scores?
Yeah. Let's. What
you got? Let's
see our rubric here.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. Narrative out of 20 points.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Narrative being like the story?
Yeah, overall.
Out of 20?
Yeah.
Like characters.
20
all
being
that
the best.
Stuff. Yeah.
1 being the worst.
One being Pokemon.
I think like
I don't know. I was going to say I'd probably go... Now, if I'm looking at the narrative in general, not great. But if we're talking about Pokemon narrative as Pokemon is...
No, overall, as a game.
Okay, overall as a game...
Standard, yeah. Like a 6?
Like a 7 or an 8, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say 6, yeah. Yep. So we'll go 7. Brandon, do you want to weigh in?
No, that's
okay.
Yeah.
Zero narrative.
Taking it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing if it's worth buying.
Yeah, this is the great...
Good start.
Yeah.
Solid 6 out of 20.
Gameplay out of 20.
Oh my god.
Oof. Because they did do some cool things. It's just the performance.
Yeah, a lot of it doesn't work. The performance is rough, and there's certain things. I haven't had any game-breaking bugs, so that's fine.
Game-breaking bugs.
Which is that's not like they didn't. There are bugs, but they don't. They don't ruin your experience.
They do.
It's like right in the middle. Like,
did you see that one streamer that timed? He looked at his playtime.
Oh yeah,
and he was on stream for like an hour and a half longer than the playtime. So the lag,
he
lost an hour and a half of time because of the frame rate drops.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What do you think of your gameplay?
Gameplay, I would say 10.
I was thinking like in the middle, like 9 or 10.
9 or
10.
10.
12. So
okay,
so, all right,
10.
We'll go 10.
No, it's such a tricky thing still.
Because
there's
a lot of fun, there's a lot of fun stuff to it. They did some cool features, but some of it was like kind of like weird. I feel like it's kind of in the middle, and it not working for some things. That's pretty fair.
Fun.
Do it like 100
out of 20. Yeah,
it's so stupid.
It's so weird how much fun I had with it.
Yeah, it is really really fun.
Dude, it's literally
I couldn't stop playing it, man.
It's like 17 or 18 for me.
I was gonna
like
say
the first time playthrough, like it was a lot of fun. Like I literally had a hard time playing it or stopped playing it. Yeah, I'd go like 17.
That's what I'm.
All right, we'll go 17. Bang for your buck. Like how worth the money is it?
I mean, how many hours do you guys put into it?
I don't know. Should I know that?
I just checked. I'm at 70 something.
I'm not. There's no way. I'm guessing maybe 30 or 40.
Which is, I think, a very good amount of time. I feel like that's hitting them, and if you want to go for shinies or you want to do more in-game stuff or like level grind, do certain raids, I think there's enough content there to give it a good score.
Yeah.
Depending on how you want to play it. If you're
Bang for your buck, I'd probably go
out of 15, sorry.
Out of 15 for this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll go with like an 11, 12.
I was thinking 13. There's a lot of content in there.
Probably 11.
12. Yeah, so 12.
So 12 visuals. 3. Out of 10 now.
Out of 10?
Yeah, I would say literally 3.
3 is
visuals. Yeah, I mean it's not hot. I go 3.5.
And like some parts look okay, but like you can see through the map, so like you can't put that as good.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty.
Even when it's working, you got to judge it for what
the only good parts are the cuts.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well that's the thing. If there were no bugs at all,
it's still
what would we score it?
5?
Yeah, like if that.
Yeah.
So and it's out of 10. That weighs more heavily in the long run kind of thing. So sound.
I like the music quite a lot.
Yeah, but I always do.
Yeah, but
which is good. That's a good thing.
Music.
How are the Pokemon calls?
That's how the Pokemon calls are,
dude. When I did the first,
except for Pikachu or Eevee.
Yeah, exactly.
When I did the first Team Star base, and they start off with a riff that's like a Gen 3 song riff, like on the guitar, I was like, okay, I can get this, and then it gets another thing. I don't know. I like the music.
Yeah, they did,
but sound
is
like music's good. They're always good.
Is music its own category though?
No, sound falls into sound. But there's no voice acting, which I would say takes a little bit away from sound.
Yeah,
definitely.
The Pokemon cries are still those. There's no reason for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say
it's probably in the middle.
I'd go. You can't do half grades. I could do half grades at 10, but
I would go 6.
I'll go 6.
5 or 6.
Yeah, 6 sounds
6.
Yeah.
Features out of 5. I mean,
the UI is fine. They had some cool things. I like the multiplayer aspect. They did it in a good way where it's not just like, I'm going to invite my friend to a raid and then we got to get to that and then it's gone. Like you can just invite me to your world and I can do my own thing. And that I like that. That's a huge step. That's really cool.
Performance doesn't really tank.
No, it's because it's shit and to start with, so it doesn't really go down worse.
The Pokedex is cool.
Yeah,
the way that's laid out, that's fine.
Just being able to teach Pokemon right from your menu screen, just to be able to get to your boxes right from the menu screen, just to be able to.
That is nice.
I'd say overall,
auto
battle.
That's why. Yeah,
I think it's up there. It's pretty.
I'm personally thinking a 4.
Yeah, 4.
You know,
sure. I'd say. They definitely did a lot of cool things.
Yeah, there's redeemable things about the features.
All right. So to go back and restate these values we have. For narrative, we have 7 out of 20. Gameplay, we have 10 out of 20. Fun, 17 out of 20. We suck. We're the problem with the...
It's so fun, dude.
Oh, man.
It is fun.
The bang for your buck, we have 12 out of 15. Visuals, we have 3 out of 10. Sound, 6 out of 10. And features, 4 out of 5. Giving us a total of...
Oh my god.
59.
Solid 6.
This game gets a 6.
9. Okay.
6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because that is actually what IGN gave these games. 6 out of 10.
I'd probably give it a 6.5 personally.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
In my own 6.57. So yeah, I mean, I think that's totally valid. I think it's 6.
Like genuinely, that aspect brought it up so much. Like we said, it didn't work in some things, and it like looked bad, and it wasn't like the best. But like, I could not stop playing it, and it's just because like Pokemon. If this was like any other game, I'd be like, this sucks, dude. Like,
it is still inexcusable, and that shouldn't. If there's another game like this.
That's
no.
I mean,
then I'm gonna keep buying them, and I'm gonna be more mad about it.
Do you think Game Freak and Pokemon should like, lay off the, pedal to the metal and maybe like pass the game off to Nintendo, who really is making these incredible Nintendo titles that have
It sucks like to be like Game Freak, you're not good at it anymore.
Yeah, like they don't have the chops, man.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's not even like that you can blame it all on the time frame. And say like you're just not fast enough to produce the quality content.
It's not the quality.
It's not the quality. It's like they're behind always.
Oh, they're
it's
always
like
behind.
the mechanics,
just the team, just whatever it is that's
and I'm adding multiplayer now. It's 2022, almost 2023, and it's like
we had
they got a good multiplayer
Xbox
system.
You know what I mean? Like, oh my god, it's just I genuinely think that Game Freak really excelled in the
2D realm.
The 2D pixel-based, top-down, even not even like pixel-heavy thing. Like
basically till X and Y, and then after they started really going for the 3D thing. Yeah, it just.
I don't need that for these. Like,
people, when the 3D things came out, they were like, "This looks weird."
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even like people were like, "Oh, finally!" It was like, "Why'd you do that?"
Yeah.
And then they just kept going with it, and it just feels strange. And like, if you could save performance by lowering, say you made it like a Gen.
This next one's gonna be Gen 10, so this is gonna be a big deal.
Yeah, so Gen 4. Let's go back to what Gen 4 looked like. Something like that, right? Like that, I think if you made a really huge game, having it look like an old JRPG, like that would be great, man. Like people loved the pixel-based stuff, like the old school Pokemon. I don't know. I feel like
like an Octopath Traveler, like cool, like 3D, like 2D.
Yeah, and I'm certainly not a game designer or anything, and I don't know how this would work. But I feel like it would take some strain off of the equipment. Like it wouldn't. Your Switch wouldn't sound like a jet engine when you're trying to play it.
I turned mine on today.
Yeah,
the sheer scope of it.
Yeah.
Do we sell you on this game, Brandon? Do you want to buy it? Are you gonna race this?
Yeah, what are you thinking?
I probably will play it eventually, but I think I'm still gonna.
You're going right now? Is that what you're doing?
I'm gonna hold off. I mean, it's the solid 6 ratings, not making me run to the store.
I got the cartridge, so you can borrow it when I'm done.
That's
so you don't have to buy it.
That's true.
I wouldn't make you do that.
I was gonna get Violet anyway. If I did get one, so
okay.
What?
I mean, Scarlet.
Okay, I was going to say, right? You keep trash talking.
No, I wanted Scarlet.
Has better Pokemon. Yeah. I only bought Violet because of Ceruledge Edge and Tyranitar.
I like the purple bike.
It's cool.
He uses wheels.
I don't like wheels.
If he has wheels, use the wheels.
I like the Scarlet Legendary.
Yeah, he's way cooler.
Yeah.
But like, if I'm gonna be riding this thing, I don't want to see
galloping.
That's like use your wheels.
I thought it was awesome. It looked cool.
It's fun.
I think it's funny.
Yeah, me too.
Well, then you'd have a lot of fun with this game if you think it's funny. Yeah. So that is kind of our thoughts on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Yes, it has been a little bit longer than we usually get these reviews out, but we thought that with Ronnie being up with us this week, good timing, and thank you again for being here.
Thank you again.
Absolutely, anytime, man. It's a lot of fun.
Much enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was a good discussion.
Absolutely. So we're all hoping for a better sequel of the Pokemon franchise in the future.
Yeah, next year when they come out.
Yeah.
We'll see what next year brings. We'll be back in 8 months.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully this gets some love in the forms of patches and some good DLC.
Just spend time on the next game. Just spend.
Yeah, that's the thing.
As a Pokemon fan, like we don't care how long it takes, right? Just do it right.
If they came out and they said, okay, we are faced with the decision of either putting a lot of time and resources into making Scarlet and Violet what it should be.
It'd be overwhelming.
Or we can say we apologize of the state that it's in, issue maybe one more patch to try to fix up little things that they can, and say it is what it is. But the next game, we're going to take however long off and make sure it's up to the right standards. I would say, do that. Like, don't spend any more time with this. You missed your chance for a lot of people. Like Brandon,
he's like,
like you're not running to the store to buy it. You know, like if you ever see it eventually and you need something to play, it's there. But it's like the people who wanted it got it, and the people who didn't already buy it are pretty much
going to sell them.
They're pretty much like, I'm not really loving the idea of it. And the more time goes by, people are going to stop talking about it.
Yeah, the hype goes down. Definitely, these games are super popular right away. Everybody's playing at the same time.
Issues,
Exactly. Yeah. And but I do want to say just one more time that it's a lot of fun.
It is a fun game.
Like you get it. It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Open world Pokemon. Like I feel like everyone's waited a very long time for it.
Yeah, getting towards that like more classic MMO style. I'm like into that, and like I'd like to see them do that really well.
Yeah, we're taking steps toward it, man. Taking steps.
Yeah.
Just a long staircase, man.
Yeah. Baby There's no step counter. That's the thing. We don't know how many steps we've taken. So, all right, guys. Yeah. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you again, Ronnie.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we will catch you guys next week. Good night, gamers.
All right.
Night.
That was cute.